Yo, man, I want to talk about Talkee.com, man. It's basically a party line. I've been calling it ever since I was literally 12 years old, okay? I'm going to, in fact, write a novel about the party line. If you don't see it in the description in the box, check back. A couple of months later, you will see it down there. So check the description for a link to my novel. And, the party line, man, is basically a chat room over the phone where you're talking with multiple people about anything at any time. The rooms max out to about 8 people, and it's crazy on there. And see, back in the day when the party line was first created, there was no camera phones, no webcams and stuff like that, so you couldn't see the other person over the phone, which made it a unique situation. That's one of the reasons why people call there, because they can remain anonymous. They can look like a hot mess, but since they have an attractive voice, people kind of fall in love with that voice and perceive that person based on the voice. So the party line is like that. Another thing about the party line is that I had a brain freeze, I'm sorry, but that people blow in the phone. Okay, I know that sounds weird, but you got to understand the mindset of a person who literally pick up a phone to talk to a bunch of strangers all day. So you have people who blow in the phone to try to stop a conversation or to just be a troll or something like that. So with this party line, right, as I was stating earlier, people fall in love with a voice. So you may have an extremely overweight person who quote unquote sounds skinny. You go and meet them and it's like, oh my gosh. So spent 2 hours in a shower, spent this money taking a bus to go and see this person and all this extra stuff, and it just ain't worth it, man. You can get set up, you can get killed. I mean, there was plenty of murders on the party line. You just type in party line and murders. I mean, there was plenty of them. There was actually a serial killer on the one that I used to call, man. And it's crazy because they had the dude's picture on a party line page on Facebook. Party line page is basically people from the party line who have given their Facebook to somebody, and the person passed that person's picture on, and then they end up on a party line page. You know what I'm saying? So you can basically see everybody who you talking to. But his picture was up there, and one of the girls he killed, I knew her. I think I met up with her. I'm not 100% sure, but I definitely remember her face, and it was kind of sad, man. But you got sick people like that on there all the time. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they talk normal, other times they talk weird, man. So you're definitely gonna run into diseases. You're gonna run into gangsters, and you're gonna run into a lot of bisexuals and gays. 100%, man. When you click CB, which is like a personal section, and you click guys looking for girls, you're going to hear the girls looking for guys side, which is going to be a bunch of trannies talking about, they want to do this and do that to you. And you got a lot of pay-to-play girls on there too, which are prostitutes. And they charge like $30-$40 or something like that, man. And, and sometimes they lie about their looks and things like this. And, of course, you should use a condom. So it's just, a lot of stuff you got to watch out with the party line, man. It simply ain't worth it, man. Like I said, I've been calling it since I was 13, and when I was introduced to it, there was nothing like it because I was kind of sheltered when I was a kid and whatever, man. And being on the party line, I don't know, that gave me a sense of confidence, a sense of completion or whatever, man. And I learned a lot from the line. I'm not going to lie, man. I learned a lot from the line. It's kind of funny because I actually met up with these guys who used to be on there talking metaphysical, ancient Egyptian stuff. They used to talk Afrocentric, information and, real deep subjects. I used to talk with them. So we met up and, had a little class and whatever. Come to find out, these dudes was carrying around guns, shoplifting out of stores, popping ecstasy, all types of crazy stuff. So that's what I'm saying. Like on a party line, it don't matter if the person is nice, respectful, or if they seem cool. Normally they're mentally imbalanced. That's the norm. The only time you're gonna find a quote unquote normal person on there is if the person don't call that much. They call like once every 4 months, or that's their first time on there. You better jump on that immediately, man. And that's another thing when you're taking a female private or you're taking a dude private. Back in the day, they had 3.5, where you press 3.5 and you instantly connected with somebody. So, when somebody trying to troll you, they're listening to your conversation, because you might be having a conversation with a girl, telling her go 3.5, go 3.5. Somebody listening, they press 3.5 too and connect with you. You be like, hello. They be like, yeah, what's up, dog? Just trolling, and then you lose the girl. You can't find her again. So that happens a lot, man. And Speaking of that, man, you know, there was a guy who used to blow on the phone all the time. The one I used to call. He used to blow 24/7. He would exhale and then inhale, and just the way he made the sound, man, I can't recreate it, and it was just so annoying. But this guy, he would call there like all the time, 24/7, 7 days a week, from morning to evening. Come to find out, the dude didn't have no life. Basically, he didn't go to school, he didn't have no work, he was living with his mother and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And I think at the time he was like in his early 20s or late teens or something like that. And but the problem is that although he was a goofy, he was meeting some of those girls on there. He would low-key go to CB and try to talk normal. And one thing I want to warn you about Partyline females is that they will give up your information in a hot second. It's this dude on there, man, he will always talk about how tough he was. You want to meet me, man. And I'm talking about, he was talking about this for years, man. And he actually got into a relationship with a Partyline girl. This girl got so mad at him because he gave her an STD and all this extra stuff. And she basically printed up pictures of his face, posted around his neighborhood saying that, hey, this guy has that package. And then he was living in a house under his son's name, so that information got to the landlord, and now he's getting kicked out. The dude drives trucks now, you know. It's you know, kind of weird and whatever, man. But anyway, the dude who was blowing, man, this female basically, you know, was talking with him private. He was talking normal, trying to get them girls' numbers, trying to meet up with him. So I guess he met up with this female, right? So of course she had his address. There was another guy on there who would constantly run from the dude who was blowing. So every time the dude come in the room and blow, he'll press 7, and the dude who was blowing will follow him. And he would do this every time, all day, every day, to this one guy. Guy got fed up with it. So the guy talking to a girl one day, and the girl was talking with the blower. She gave out the blower's address and all that, man. And you know what this guy did? He literally went over there, knocked on the boy's door, shot him. And people on there showed me the dude's mug shot. And you know, and what's funny is that after that situation, I'm not gonna say what's funny, but what's crazy is after that situation, I never heard the blow on there no more. I never heard him. He had a very distinct blow. Never heard him on there ever again. You know, so that's how the Partyline roll, man. You know, you call him in the comfort of your home. You feel like you're safe because you're here, you're at home or whatever. But you got to remember, man, that PL is worse than the street. That's the nickname we have for it, the PL. You know, everybody on there is insane. Carry around guns, burning, you know, STDs, robberies. Those happens all the time. I mean, I could give you unlimited stories. In fact, I'm going to give you unlimited stories since I'm on this video. There was a robbery on the PL, and this suburban, you have a lot of suburban people and people from other nearby states calling certain lines because they're bored. They might live in a small town, you know, they're bored. They want to come to the big city to have fun or whatever. So this suburban female, she had a nice car, you know, on them things, big rims or whatever. She met up with some dudes from the west side, right? She let the dudes drive her car, you know what I'm saying? So while the dudes driving her car, it's two dudes. One of them driving her car, and I think the other was sitting in the back seat. No, she was sitting in the back seat, something. However, she ended up getting strangled, and they left her body in like a vacant field. If I could find some of these stories, I'm gonna leave it in the description box as well. Left her in a vacant field. I remember that story, man. Real deep, man. You know, but that's what happens on the Partyline. If you're unfamiliar with it, you can get caught up. And remember, the Partyline I'm talking about is basically the free Partyline. It's not Vibeline. It's not Lava Life. Those are the more high class lines because people have to pay to get on them. And if a person has to pay, then they tend to value it more. You have a different caliber of people. But the Partylines I'm talking about, I mean, back in the day, they had local area codes, so anybody, literally anybody, could basically call there, man. You know, it's real, it's real deep, man. It's real deep. And but the beauty of it is that there was a website created where you can see people webcam, and a lot of people from the party line started getting on webcam. Now, you know, you can be on the phone all day and build your confidence because you're verbally talking to people. La 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 la. People fall in love with your voice. People trying to holler at you. It builds your confidence. If you've been calling there for years and years, you start to psych yourself out because you believe that you look good because you're so desirable over this phone. So a lot of people who cam up, showing their face on the webcam, they got roasted. You understand? They got roasted. They got ran off the webcam website and basically went back to the party line. And what's funny is that some of the sexy females from the party line, the few sexy ones, they would get on the webcam. All of a sudden, they ain't got no competition. They see like women who really bringing it as far as physical looks. So that girl run back to the party line where she can be the, you know, the boss, basically. She can be the desirable gem on the party line. She wasn't that on the webcam because there was too much competition in there. So yeah, that's the nature of the party line, man. I know there's so much more that I forgot to cover. You know, I'll talk about my experiences. I'll talk about my experiences, man. I met so many people on the party line. I don't even know where to start, dog. I mean, I met met this one female. Her name was Candy on the west side. I mean, I went over there. I had my friend drive me over there. I was gonna take the train, but he was like, "Nah, man, I drive you over there," you know, because he was trying to use me to get women, you know. But I drive you over there, man. We go over there, and I never seen a human being look like that before. She looked like an upside down spinning top. Okay, her top was small, bottom was small, but the middle was extremely big. I never knew shapes like that existed. It was deep. Yeah. And when I got back in the car, and you know, it's funny because the lady had the nerve to have a tongue ring. And what's crazy, she used to talk about how she was like a lesbian, bisexual all the time on the PL. I don't know, I guess to turn dudes on or whatever. But I was thinking to myself, I can see why you're like that. Straight up. And yeah, it was real deep. I remember that I was the person sending somebody off one time. This girl, she this when I was a teenager, man. I wasn't socially smart like I am now back then. But she told me, "Hey man, you know, come over here." She was around my age, she seemed cool. So I took the bus over there, man. I went to her building, rung the doorbell. No. She told me to call up to her window, so that's what I did. I called up to her window. Nobody answered. I kept calling her name. She didn't answer. Kept calling her name. People looking out the window at me like I'm crazy. Call her name for about 10 minutes. Nobody answered. I'm confused. Totally confused. I go back home. I try to call her. She didn't answer. Totally confused. Now I realized that I was sent off. That she probably thought I looked like a hot mess. And that's the reason she didn't come to the door. That's what I'm going to assume. Yeah, man. It was crazy, man. Being on a PL. I had a female girlfriend who, she was from Motown. She was from a stone hood. You know where I live at. And she used to take money from me all the time. It's a long story, but eventually she stole some soap and some oodles and noodles from me. She was that broke. One day she came over for some money. I ain't had no money, but I had some change on my floor. I told her, "You can clean up my room. The room extremely dirty. Whatever change you find, you can keep on the floor." So she cleaned up my room. She had about $3 in change. Then she went in my dresser and took $3 out of there. I'm like, "Nah, man, I you know," and she wouldn't give it back. So when she wasn't looking, I went in her purse and I took my $3 back. You feel me? When she finished cleaning up, she looked in her purse, frantically trying to find that $3. Then she realized that I had it. Give me my money back. I'm like, what you talking about? That's my money. Give me my money back. Give me my money back. I'm like, no, that's my money. You know? And I reiterated to her, I told you can keep the money that you found on the floor. Give my money back. We going back and forth for about 10 minutes. All of a sudden, she still off of me with her fist. Hit me. Boom! Give me my money. I'm like, okay. I reached into my pocket. You know, gave her her money. She was pinching my skin at the time too, like she was trying to pinch a hole into me. Gave her the $3 real calmly. She said, I'm gonna get my boyfriend to come over here and air all of y'all out and all this. I thought I was her boyfriend. Little retarded brother and all. That's what she said. My brother handicapped. I was like, okay. You know, she left. And I told my father, never ever let her back into this crib again. If she come over, never let her back into the crib. I don't want to talk to this girl at all. A few months later, and that's one thing about the party line, is that people will keep your name and number for years. They'll remember your real name. They will remember your number and your address for years. And sometimes these people will just pop up after like 2 years of not seeing you out of nowhere, just call you out of the blue or some weird stuff. And you know, she called me and I'm like, yeah, man, you stole on me, man. You don't remember that? She pretended, I don't remember that, and all this. But after that day, I never spoke with her ever again. My grandmother advised me that maybe I should have called the cops, but nah, wasn't gonna call the cops. You know, that would have created more issues, you know. And nah, I didn't want to call the cops. Just let them go. That's all. That's the way I do it. So that's the PL for you, man. Can you meet some cool people on there? Sure you can. But it's best to use the party line to your advantage for something productive. I used to do my homework on a party line. I used to read questions out loud and ask people for the answer. I would read multiple choice questions, stuff like that. People would give me the answer. So, but as far as trying to meet somebody off the party line, it's not worth it. Definitely don't date nobody off of there. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not worth it. So, excuse me. I've been talking for 17 minutes. Those are some of my experiences on a party line. I might do a part 2 later, and if I do, I'll leave it in the description in the box. And remember, I'm having a party line novel come out. If it's not already in the description, it will be in the description in the future. Peace.